All right, I'm going to try something completely different here because I have nothing to lose. I'm actually on vacation right now, so you're not going to see the same setup. You're not going to get the same quality sound. I'm going to do no editing whatsoever in this video. I'm not even going to cut the camera, and we'll see what happens because I have nothing to lose. Backstory here. I have a small handful of other channels, all of which have been pretty successful over the years. Not massive, otherwise you'd know me, which you don't. But millions of views across a number of channels without a lot of effort. So I know what I'm doing. And I started this channel recently because since before 2016, I've wanted to talk about the moron, idiot, narcissistic fool that is Donald Trump and just how dangerous I think he is to the entire world. So I started this channel a few weeks ago, put up one video, a couple shorts, and have received zero or pretty much next to zero impressions. Certainly no recommendations from YouTube at all. And I'm not talking about no views. I'm talking about no impressions. And I've been doing this long enough to know, and I've succeeded before, that how YouTube works. And the basics of it are, particularly when you're starting out, you put up a video, and at some point in the first 48 hours, YouTube will test your video with a very, very small audience. It doesn't know who you are, doesn't know what you're talking about necessarily, other than what it can read from the descriptions and the titles, and by scraping the video basically for the dialogue and the text that appears. And all other videos I've ever published on any other channel have always worked that way. These videos I put up and never received a single impression. I did ask Gemini, the Google AI, what it thought was going on, and I'd get feedback along the lines of, this is not normal for new channels. In a little while, YouTube will test a couple of videos with a small audience, and if it performs well, expose it to a larger audience. And I ended up having effectively an argument with Google Gemini about this because several weeks in, I kept having to go back to Gemini and saying, it's not a question of I've received a small amount of impressions or just a few views. I have received none. And Gemini would respond, don't you worry, it'll test it. If you're not getting a lot of views, it's because the testing may have not gone all that well. I'm looking at my camera right now for a second again. Sorry, I'm not set up here for all this, and the light just changed. I may have lost focus on the old eyes. There we go. We'll see if that works. Where was I? Anyway, so to which I replied to Gemini, I'm not even getting impressions for YouTube to then analyze the data from to determine whether or not this is a good video or not. They can't determine whether or not my thumbnail works and people are clicking on it because it's not showing it to anybody to even click on. They can't determine whether or not my content is interesting enough or holds the audience attention enough for retention because no one's even seeing it to watch it. They're not seeing it to watch it for all of 9 seconds and then leave even. YouTube's not showing it and testing it. I pressed Gemini on this repeatedly. It kept saying, no, there's no such thing as shadow bans. And to be honest, and again, I'm not going to cut to B-roll here. I'm on vacation, not in the USA. I'll never go there again. So I'm not going to do a large amount of editing to give you the B-roll backup for all this. But I kept pressing Gemini and saying, you don't understand, I'm getting no views. Gemini eventually said, gosh, based on all that, you're probably right. You've probably been shadow banned. The assumption being because I've used the word, say, Trump and idiot in the same sentence, or Trump and narcissist in the same sentence, or Trump and complete and utter jackass and a danger to the world in the same sentence. And my understanding in doing some more research is basically YouTube is shy of any kind of political commentary. I'm gathering anything that's negative of Trump. Can't say much beyond that. I find it ironic that Trump can go on and say horrific things about people, horrific things about individuals like Rob Reiner recently, the awful, awful, disgusting, vile things he said about Rob Reiner and his family after they were murdered. Trump can go and say horrific things and make up lies about Somalians in Minnesota. I just was reading recently, sorry, my laptop is here, about him saying the Somalians have stolen $8 billion in Minnesota. He just makes up facts. And his moron MAGA supporters believe in whatever he says. He can say horrific things about other countries, my country, Canada, and accuse us of stealing from them and threatening us. And obviously Venezuela, he's saying the same things. They've stolen billions upon billions of dollars. He just makes up these things. So Trump can go out there to the world and say these horrific, awful things, but apparently I can't call him on it. And I strongly suspect, I am 99% sure, which is partly why I'm not worried about editing this video in any way, that YouTube won't show this video to anybody at all. In fact, I worry a little that I'm at risk of having the channel deleted or canceled entirely because of it. I don't think I'm saying anything that would break any of the YouTube community standards as far as offensive content. I'm not excessively cursing. I'm not encouraging any kind of bad behavior in anybody watching this. I'm just trying to offer my honest opinions on the man who I think is, at the same time, the stupidest man to ever walk the earth and the most dangerous man in the world. And I say he's the most dangerous not because he has any talent or intelligence to do anything, but the idiots in the United States have put this stupid, awful, despicable man in charge of the largest nuclear arsenal the world has ever known. So this imbecile can do far more damage to the world than any other dictator or awful person in the past could have. He has access to military, nukes, God knows what. And he's proven that there are no bounds on what he will do or say. He has no filter. He will do and say anything he wants to either distract from other things he's done, largely to divert the American public's attention to the moronic economic policies and stupid decisions he's made, and his stealing billions and billions of dollars from his followers, from the American public, from the world, and lining his pockets, his sycophants' pockets, his family's pockets, and no one seems to care in the United States. And I have this debate with my family quite frequently, and other people, that a lot of people want to negotiate with this person. A lot of people want to say there are a lot of Americans who didn't vote for him and who are against him. And I'm personally at the point where I don't care. I blame all Americans. I blame the moronic Democrats who, way back when, nominated Hillary Clinton when I'm fairly certain she probably shouldn't have won. And even if she did fairly win, which I don't think she did, the nomination, it was a stupid choice. She never had a chance against Donald. But they let him get in power the first time. And then the Democrats put in Biden, who I didn't mind at the time, but was really supposed to be handing over the mantle to Kamala Harris for the subsequent election. And again, with all these politicians, it seems they're all so fake. He never did. Hang on a second. I'm going to interrupt. The fridge over here in the little small condo that I'm renting has gone off, so the sound might have suddenly got worse. I can't do anything about it, nor do I think I'll be editing or really trying to fix up the sound. So anyway, back to Biden and that administration. They were supposed to hand it off to the next generation of Democrats to ensure that moron Trump never got elected, or anyone like him never got elected again. And of course, ego took over. And while I'm sure there are elements of Biden and his administration that were decent people, they're just as much to blame as anybody else. They failed. They should have been building up Kamala Harris or someone else to fill in his shoes for the next election and prevent Trump from getting back in. And their ego didn't let them. So I blame the Democrats. I recall in 2020, I blame all the American people who refused to vote because they didn't like either choice, or as a protest vote, or a protest non-vote. All these people allowed Trump to get in power. That's not even speaking to the 50% of the country who actually voted for him, who buy into his lunacy, who buy into the lies he tells them. You have a 50% of the American population who's basically angry at the world for their lack of success or their lack of money or their struggles. And that entire population is looking for someone else to blame except for themselves. They don't want to hear anybody say, it's your fault. You grew up in the wrong area of the country. You had some bad luck, perhaps. You didn't focus in school or didn't get enough of an education. Maybe your parents weren't great parents. Maybe you made bad choices, or maybe it was, in some cases, just dumb luck. I've had plenty of dumb luck in my life that things haven't worked out. But these MAGA morons, they don't want to be introspective and look at themselves as the possible culprits for their lot in life. Yeah, they want someone like Donald Trump to come along and say, it's not your fault. It's the Mexicans. It's not your fault. It's the Somalians. It's not your fault. It's the Venezuelans. And on, it's not your fault. It's the immigrants. And on and on and on and on. And they love it when this imbecile Trump comes out and says, so-and-so stole all our money from us, and I'm going to get it back, and we're going to become the most powerful nation in the world. And these fools just fall for it. So I'm rambling, but that's sort of the intent of this video, because I have nothing to lose. You're probably never going to see this. Yeah, so there isn't a person in the States who I don't find to blame for this. And to all those American YouTubers or people on social media saying, I didn't vote for this, or it's not my fault, I disagree with it. What are you doing about it other than talking? Absolutely nothing. And you'll continue to do nothing. Part of the reason I am doing this video at all is, even though I'm on vacation, is just in the past couple of days, the number of things that I've seen just passing by or heard that I just find amazing. Like I said earlier on, the Rob Reiner comments. Just what kind of despicable, awful, sick person says these? Only Trump. I've got a few tabs on my laptop here just to refer to, not notes, but this in case I wanted to get things right. What I heard recently about them changing the plaques in the White House beneath Joe Biden and Obama. Let me read this one here. Where is it? Sorry. They've put on his plaque in the White House below his picture. Sleepy Joe was by far the worst American president in American history. And then it continues, taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever seen in the United States. And then he says other things about Obama. I mean, how 50% of the American population can hear about this, that in their White House, in the people's house, I guess you'd call it, that the current president is putting up these plaques about the past one. He's completely bonkers. And people allowing him to do this are completely bonkers. Bonkers. What was the other one? Oh yeah, just last night, briefly watching the news, and I think I said something along this in one of my previous videos. The Kennedy Center is now the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Center for the Arts, or whatever it's called. As I said in that previous video that I put up that no one watched, he's going to stamp his name on everything, on every single thing he can, because he's completely narcissistic, completely arrogant. He's a wannabe dictator with no class, no tact, no taste, no empathy, no decent qualities at all. I was thinking earlier on before shooting this video, I got no doubt at all. I kind of want to put this video together because I wanted to predict a few things and have it on record. So someday I could say, see, I told you people.
the Gulf of America, that's going to be retitled the Gulf of Trump. There's no doubt in my mind. I actually think one of his, probably a smart move for him that he's going to do at some point, is he's going to rename California to Trump. That way he can try and win that state as well and secure his legacy for the rest of his life. He's going to rename everything in the world Trump. Yeah. So I'm going on and on and on. There's a couple other things I wanted to refer to that were just despicable. Give me a second here. Where was it? Oh yeah, he's going after Syria and ISIS. He's just making up stuff all around the world. Anyway, I saw a recent video by another channel I follow, a Canadian. Where is it here? Claus Kellerman, Canadian as well, and I Canadian. And I like Klaus's channel, and he seems like a pretty smart guy, frankly, and a lot of solid opinions about what's going on, and largely sort of in defense of Canada, and sort of encouraging Canada to stand up a little bit to Trump, which I believe, but I don't think Klaus is taking it far enough. The video that Klaus shot recently, or published recently, he made a major announcement on his channel, and he talked about, and this is, I think, was regards to the Rob Reiner Truth Social post. And that one was enough to finally push Klaus over a certain edge where he sort of just decided he was never going to talk about or show Trump's image on his channel again. That he kind of believes in, and I'm paraphrasing on his behalf, so Klaus, if you do happen to see this, forgive me if I get it wrong, because I think you're smart and a good guy. But his belief was he didn't want to give Trump any kind of airtime ever again. And because Trump gets enough and he's omnipresent in everything now, and he's permeated the entire culture. I mean, and Klaus is right to a degree. You can't turn on the news. News is largely not news anymore. It's just Trump. Every news channel, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, or whatever the rebranded name is, social media. It's not genuine political coverage as it used to be 10, 20 years ago. It's just Trump 24/7. So Klaus doesn't want to give this imbecile Trump any more airtime, which I can appreciate his point of view. I'm so far beyond that, though. I think, as I said earlier on, that Trump is, through no talent or intelligence of his own, the most dangerous person on the planet right now. He's going to implode that country, the United States. To my mind, it's just a question of whether or not and when he takes down the rest of the world with him, because you'll see a pattern in everything he's doing. He's dismantling infrastructure and systems in the United States. He's imposing stupid economic policies, largely just blindfolding the fact that he's enriching all of his supporters and billionaires, and implementing policies that are going to destroy the country. But every time a new stat comes out, or new information comes out, or his ratings go down because of the degrading economy in the States and the degrading standard of living in the United States, he starts something new with a foreign country every time. Half a year or so ago, the stuff talking about Canada, or Greenland. Now it's Venezuela. He's bombing boats in the Caribbean, and no one has shown any proof of who these people are or what they're doing before or after the bombings. He's literally killing people, and he doesn't care at all, to distract Americans from what's going on with their lives. And he's done that repetitively in the past with everything. He did that in his first term. He's doing it again now, and he'll continue. And my fear is that as he ruins America more and more and more, he's going to have to increase the frequency and ferocity of these distractions. There's no doubt in my mind, and again, this is a prediction I want to make on here, and somewhere in the future, someone might come by here and say, that guy who got no impressions on his videos, he was right. If you'll go after Venezuela and just make up that Venezuela stole billions of dollars from them, although I don't know why. I'm going to see if my focus is still on. Is it on? No, there it is. Might have lost focus for a while. If he'll do that to Venezuela, he's certainly going to do it to Canada.
He's already, that whole 27-point peace pact that he and Putin put together in regards to Ukraine. There was a line in one of the items in there that really gets glossed over, was effectively a line about, and going forth, Russia and the United States will share the Arctic, because there's a lot of oil and natural resources under there that up until recently were just too cost prohibitive to go after. But technology being what it is, getting to these precious minerals and oil and gas and whatever is up there on the Arctic is becoming more and more viable. And both America and Putin know it. And so they're going to try and lay claim to the Arctic as well. And what's largely between the United States and the Arctic? Canada. Which is why he's made overtures about making Canada one of the 51st state, which is why he's made overtures about taking over Greenland. Anyone who thinks that he's not going to come after Canada at some point is naive. And we need to start seeing that for what it is. Canada, my country, is at most immediate risk to this madman. And make no mistake, it'll come. The time has long since passed for all these countries and leaders of the world to be trying to negotiate with this person. They feign negotiation. He largely gets what he wants because he has the most leverage. Says, okay, great. We've now renegotiated. We have new tariffs. We have new trading pacts, whatever. He's not going to, 6 months later, he just does whatever he wants. It's not going to change. He's just going to keep going after more and more and more. And his way of getting more is not through truth or honest negotiations or mutual benefit. It is through making up whatever lie he needs to tell his 51% of the population who voted for him, so that they support him going after whatever people or population or country he wants to. He makes up numbers and figures and lies about Somalis in Minnesota. American MAGA base idiots that they are go, okay. He makes up moronic, just completely fabricated numbers about what Venezuela has done. His base just says, those awful Venezuelans, we need to go to war with them. It's not going to end. Anybody who thinks this is going to stop, or that America is going to stop it from within, is blind. The rest of the world needs to unite and start rallying and preparing for what's to come. We are going to be at war, not metaphorically, with the country to the south of mine. Anyway, this might be the last video you ever see on this channel because I think my previous videos were more tame than this one. I was probably less outspoken than I wanted to be in this one. Put this one up, who knows what's going to happen. Might lose a channel. But it really doesn't matter because if no one ever sees anything anyway, what do I care? I'm going to go surf or something.